Okay, so I'm going live a little bit earlier than usual, which I hope is cool. With everyone. We'll see. We'll see if people are here. Yes, it's been a day. It's been a day. It's been a day. I don't know about you guys, but energy today has been sucky. I have not liked it. Seemed very challenging lately. So I'm going live early. I don't know. I don't normally go live this early, but I'm trying to make it cool for people on the East Coast and people on the West Coast. I know the West Coast is still pretty early, but East Coast it's like 7 o'clock, and same with Europe over the pond. Hi, hello Michelle. Today has been not cool energy. It's been really irritating. I've not liked it. Just to remind everybody, I'm doing intuitive and medium readings. Let me know if you can hear the music or if it's too loud. Intuitive readings are about you. You can ask a question. One question about something you would like me to look into. That's an intuitive reading. Medium reading is connecting with someone who passed, and you would pick one person you'd like me to connect you with by just letting me know who they are in relationship to you. So you would say like my grandmother, my mother's side, or a friend, or whatnot. The intuitive are 15, donation medium is 20, and please only use Cash App, Venmo, or PayPal because I really don't get a lot of monetization on here, so I won't see the super chat. Anyway, other than that, besides doing readings, and if people are thinking it's just too early, I might come back later on tonight. Let's just chitty chat. Any paranormal chat in here? How are you, Michelle? What are you doing? And all you need is love. False. The 4 basic necessities: air, water, food, and shelter. Thank you, Dwight. Appreciate that. The Office, my favorite. When all hits the fan, right? Yeah, that was a gift from my partner. He got this for me. Yeah, me too. When all hits the fan, I play The Office on repeat. And then I can just breathe. Like, life isn't so complicated in The Office. Yes. So I posted this video today because funny thing happened. My soul sister, yes. Big fan. Like, embarrassingly big fan. So funny thing happened today. I tried to post a video because I got a follow from Paris Hilton on my TikTok. I made a comment on one of her videos. She's doing a lot of work about speaking about the troubled teen industry and how they're profiting on this and how the misuse and the horrible things that are happening to kids. But TikTok's very, very touchy. And if you use certain words like things that are happening, just even say even talk about it, they'll flag you like you're talking about something bad. So I had to pull it down like twice. and repost it. But yes, I'm also sharing with you that I thought it was cool that Paris Hilton followed me. I don't normally try to make a big deal about things like that, but I thought it was cool. And so that was going wonky. I couldn't get that to I was like, what? And I never had, she's come so far, right? I feel like we've watched her grow up. You know what I mean? Because some of us who were there in those, days where she was just potting it up and, all that, we watched her. I think that what people don't realize, and I'm just chit-chatting while you guys figure out if you want readings or not, it is, imagine growing up in front of the world. I mean, I don't know about you, but I have done a lot of dumb, weird, embarrassing things, and no, the world does not know about it. Imagine being a teenager and then a young adult and then, trying to figure your stuff out and trying to figure you out. It's weird. It's like people think if somebody is really well known and out in the public, they somehow must have all the wisdom of something. I don't know. People kind of forget. On the flip side, people also forget, because women get criticized for aging, in the industry. People also forget that people age, and they'll be like, oh, there's something weird going on. What is wrong with them? And, I think we've all done this, because especially I do this because I'm like, what happened to so-and-so? Because for me, I'm going, because I know I'm not that old. And then I get a check of yeah, you are that old. I'll be like, what is going on with so-and-so? They'll be like, Adela, they're 65. They're not 25 or 35, whatever age you still think people are in your head. But can you imagine having to grow old in front of everybody and grow up in front of everybody? It would be rough. It would be so difficult. It would feel like, what is happening here? Everybody has an opinion on your life. So I feel like, when I saw her, she did a video on that new documentary called Program, and I commented on it. By the way, she also follows me on Twitter, but I never post on Twitter, because I've commented a few times on the work she's doing. And we're talking about Paris Hilton, by the way, because I posted a video about her following me. I just felt like, to me, spirituality is, this is what I said when I reposted the Paris Hilton, thank you for following me on TikTok. When I reposted it, I wanted to make the point that, to me, spirituality is realizing your calling. If you have a platform like that, you can choose to just keep it really for yourself and keep it light, and you don't have to go to those, darker areas of life and try to help people who are lost. And people would have been fine, because people love her and people are entertained by her. So if you kind of realize that, okay, I have a chance to do my calling, even if it wasn't what I thought I was doing, that's for everybody. And that's what real spirituality is. Being a spiritual person means you figure out how you're going to give back to the universe. And it doesn't mean you have to do donations. You don't have to volunteer. You don't have to give to charities. It means okay, the universe is giving you things that have made your life easier and better, and you're thriving and you're moving forward. So what are you giving back to it? And if you're doing something I'm a painter, but sometimes I paint someone's house whatever. I paint someone's house for free who needs a break, just because I want to, or maybe I'm teaching someone to paint because that will help them to have a trade or something. What I'm saying is that we all have a chance. You can have all the things you want that you enjoy. Your whole life doesn't have to be dedicated to like, oh, I want to help people, because I always see people say things like, I want to help people. And I hear this in readings a lot. I want to do something to help people. And I say, do your life, pick things that you love, allow yourself to do it, grow it, harness it, hone it, make it bloom. And then believe me, you will do that thing in a way that you'll be helping people. You don't have to give up one or for the other. You can do both. And so I was saying, like, if it's a huge platform like Paris Hilton's platform, where you have this huge amount of people that are looking at you and listening to you, and you have, you know what I mean? Thank you, Michelle. And you have that much at your access, of course, you not only can have way far greater reach to people, but your expectation on you is bigger, and what people expect of you, and the criticism of you, and you did it wrong, and you didn't do this, and is a lot more tough. But everybody is doing something like that. If you are a teacher and you take extra time in your day to help a student who needs your help, you are doing something. If you are a nail tech, if you are, and you happen to say something to that person that day that kind of lifted their spirits, or just even doing their nails lifted their spirits, and you're like, okay, I'm glad I did that, but also maybe I'm going to do something where I never thought I'd do this, but I can like go and help people who want to get a job interview or something. So I'm going to do their nails, to help them out. I think people think that doing a calling or helping people in the world means you have to give up something, like in the movies, you gave up everything and you left everything behind and you went off to help people. That is what the world will say to you, because that is kind of, I want to say, a Judeo-Christian, typical Christian concept of like sacrifice yourself. Judeo, that's what I meant to say. I'm Jewish. I wasn't trying to say the Jewish religion. I'm Jewish, but I don't practice the Jewish religion. People kind of think it's going to be like the typical Christian, way of thinking, which is teaching people that like leave it all behind, sacrifice everything for the greater good of everybody. But that is not how the universe sees it at all. Not at all. The universe is like, what are you doing to take care of yourself? What are you doing that's best for you? How are you helping yourself thrive? How are you helping yourself grow? How are you helping yourself be happy? And then in return, you can have the energy and have something to give. They don't see it as sacrifice all. So that's just my rant. On the side note, I really love and believe in the platform of helping the generation behind us and this giving children a voice, because it upsets me that children are not heard. They don't have any rights. I don't think people ever think about that. Children have zero rights. They're under the umbrella of whoever's taking care of them. So if a child wants to speak out and they want to say, hey, what's happening to me isn't right, I don't like this, they're not taken seriously. And even if there is something looked into it, it's usually the person taking care of them controlling it all. So we don't have advocates. So I think what Paris Hilton is doing is being an advocate for these children is so wonderful, because it shows that to people that at any time in your life, you can add things into your life, into your path. And any time in your life you can heal, and any time in your life you can help make a change. To have that much influence is probably daunting, and you get just as much as people may love what you're doing, you get a lot of criticism as well. So that's why people don't like to put themselves personally out on the line. So that is my rant, and I 100% believe in the future of the generations behind us, that if we all talk about, environment and things like this, but we don't talk about the mental health and care of the young generations and the rights. There needs to be a voice. So that is my rant. But I am doing readings. Hello, is anyone else out there besides Michelle? That is what my rant is. 100%. Hi, mental health is a big issue amongst Gen Z, and they are self-aware. Hi, Aquamarine. Hi, Rose. Yes, they are. They are. But the thing is that Gen Z are older now. And what I mean by mental health is that children need to have a voice. I think we don't treat children at all like people. We pretend we care about the children and we want to protect the children. People will joke about really terrible, negative things about children if they don't behave, if they don't act the way. We still have this mentality that children are, and it's changing for sure. I agree, Rose. I feel like each generation is breaking the chains of treating children like they're, property, and that we can raise them in any way we want. Of course, everybody has a right to raise their children any way they want, for sure. But there is also a discount for what they're feeling. Like children's feelings and how they feel and what they're going through isn't valued at all. And there is no protection. Like there is no place they can go. But I'm sure that's going to change. And I'm sure Gen Z is a part of it. So for sure. And the next generation after them, Alpha. So yeah. What up, everybody? Just Hi, Mateo. Hello. But I think the reason why I go on this, I believe this, is because we always want to deal with the problems when people are adults. They're like, oh, we have these terrible people that are adults. And I'm like, if we dealt with these problems when people were, young, and they were children and teenagers, and we actually helped them, we would prevent these problems if we value childhood. Now, I'm going to get into this. I'm going to kind of drop something. A lot of you are aware of my podcast, The House Medium. I hope you heard the latest episode, because I've been trying to figure out if I should just post like a clip of audio from that episode to start promoting. I've been trying to figure out how to promote this podcast besides on here. Of course, I have a podcast, and The House Medium, where people send in their emails and I read them and I put sound effects and then I have the person on. I also have a Patreon, which I post energy climates every day and meditations and speed readings out every month. But my podcast, I just did, it's a lot of alien stuff. And I saw this thing. It's not literal, okay? So there's this lists, okay? I don't really believe people know all the names of aliens. I don't think somebody has this master list, okay? But closest to, and there's going to be another episode coming up in the next few weeks that will be an alien episode. But the closest thing I've seen to what I've seen, which are what I call the tall blue aliens. Some people call them Arcturians. I think this is the closest to what I've seen, which they're very peaceful. They're here to kind of help us evolve and everything. Like I read this thing that I think someone obviously like psychically downloaded or whatever and said this is what the Arcturians believe in, which is, having children is considered a high honor, and that they kind of leave it to, because, this is what they said. Now, I'm not saying this is what we should do. Okay, disclaimer. But they said like it's a high honor, and that there's a group of them that have the children, and some other people don't want to have the children. But it was more the fact that they looked at it like a high honor having children, that this person was writing this. I'm not saying that there's an actual alien race called the Arcturians, and I know all the things. I don't believe to claim that I've seen them. I've never gotten this message of like, this is our name, this is what we do, whatever. Because I think there's so many different types of aliens. But I did like the idea that they looked at it like, if you're going to raise, and that this person was presenting the concept, if we're raising new beings into the world, this should be considered a high honor. And in our world, it's not. We put down mothers, we put down stay-at-home moms, we put down teachers. Like, we don't put them on a high, we don't treat them like it's a high honor. And it's probably the most amazing thing people are like, it's bringing people into this world and nurturing them and trying to help them learn things and, get their feet on the ground and give them good mental health and stabilities and stuff. But we don't treat it like that. So it's interesting. So I thought it was an interesting concept that I believe, because this is what I've heard in the other realms from the other side. They always say there's a high respect to anyone who chooses to be a mother. I feel it is. I raised 2 men that are productive, and it was an honor raising them. AM high. Yes, but you know what? You feel it was an honor, but what's missing is that you should be honored. And in the other side, the spirits always tell me, the spirit world always says, in that realm, they honor women who choose to have children, not because they think women should have to have children, but they're just saying, if this is something you choose to do, and this is something that has happened in your life, and they absolutely say it is a choice, always. They say that it's because you're putting your heart so on the line, like you're sacrificing your body, you're sacrificing your soul, you're putting your heart on the line to love and care for somebody so much that, that's like a risk to your heart. So there's a high honor to the women. And, I'm not saying not to men, fathers, but I'm saying it's just, because they recognize it comes through the body. And we don't tend to look at like that. I feel like there's a lot of negativity that goes towards women. Have to a lot of times cover that they're mothers when they are in the workforce and things. I know I'm going off on this whole thing, but I just thought it was an interesting concept that someone put into this alien. They're saying this is what this alien race is saying. But I do know that those type of beings don't understand why we don't get how important that stage of life is, that we don't seem to value it. Anyway, Anyone, if you heard the latest podcast episode, my question to you on a side note, since, very interesting, it seems like society treating children and child terribly, it is aquamarine. It's a form of control. That's it. 100%. 100%. Wait, not? It seems like society treating children and childhood terribly is not a form of control. Is that what you're saying? Didn't mean to put, is what I meant. But you're saying like our society, it's a form of control, or you're saying, I'm confused. I thoroughly got confused right now. I got you, Amina. That our society or this alien society? I accidentally put LOL at the end of the sentence. Okay. Got it. Well, you know what? I 100% feel that, yeah, it's totally a form of control. That's the thing. That's what I always, like, this stuff comes to me. I'll be looking at our world and I'm like, why do we think we're supposed to control people so much? Why do we think we're supposed to control children so much? I'm just going to say one thing and then we get to Amina. I hope you guys don't mind. But I have this belief that has come to me, when things come to me. And I definitely believe that, when it comes to how we handle things, like, I've noticed that people who feel, this is what I've noticed being a reader, and tell me what you guys think about this, and if you see this in yourselves, and see what you think. As a reader, what I've noticed is that people who feel very loved and very comfortable, and they didn't feel afraid in their home. They felt safe, they felt taken care of, they felt loved as children and comfortable. They never feel like the need that they have to be loyal to their family. They don't feel this weird feeling. They don't ever have this energy of like, oh yes, this is the way we used to do things, and this is the way we used to do that, and I just want my parent to know that I'm doing what they wanted and all this. I noticed that people who truly feel comfortable and they felt loved and they felt taken care of and they felt safe, and mind you, this is rare, it's not common, they are okay with just saying what's on their mind. They're like, Mom, why are you acting weird like that? Or, hey Dad, no, I don't want to do that. I think I'm going to go do this instead. Or, hey, I don't, I have a question, like, why do we have to have the same, tradition all the time? And they just kind of have like a very comfortable conversation. Yes, they don't have the family above all, right, because they're valued as a kid, and thank you, and they feel like their voice matters. Ooh, yes, Aquamarine, that's what I'm saying. What I notice, and this is what I've noticed in readings, and by the way, I will again say it is very rare, and I see this in people, and it's not just readings, but I can read people and watch people, and when they're talking, and whenever someone's like, family's the most important thing to me, family's the most important thing, that's all that matters to me, it's because something was missing. As someone who didn't have that, I see it glaringly in others who did. Right. And I can tell you that it's rare, Aquamarine. I swear I have rarely seen where people will actually feel so comfortable, and it almost makes you uncomfortable. I've been around a family that they're all just kind of joking and laughing, and the kids just feel comfortable to like tease their parents in a very nice, not disrespectful or rude or anything, but not fearful way, and they are very comfortable and they're joking, and you almost feel like uncomfortable. You're like, why do I feel like weird around this family? Why are everybody so chill? They're like the chill family. Yes, it's so inspiring to see as a mother, right? I once had a friend of mine say that to me when my kiddo was small, like, oh, they look so comfortable around you. And both of us, this friend of mine and me, both came from very difficult childhoods. So I knew what she was talking about, and I knew she noticed it. She was like, he's so comfortable around you. And I've seen it. My best friend had that. Yes, I didn't grow up around anybody who had that, to be honest. I've only seen it with people who I've read, and it's very rare. And you can see there's like a relief, and it's so rare. So whenever people promote this concept of like family is all that matters, and family number one, and that all you need to care about is family, and people are like, oh, I have to do this, because then they start tearing up and they freak out because they have to follow the tradition of what their parents taught them, and they have to be that person. And I see this a lot, especially in readings and medium readings. It's usually because people didn't feel comfortable. And you know how I know? Because the person on the other side is always saying to them, I need to apologize. I made you feel like this, or I made you feel like that. And the person who I'm talking to in the reading will say, oh no, they don't need to apologize. And the person on the other side says, let me apologize, because you're uncomfortable with that. But I learned and I realize now what I did to you, and I need to set you free. That's how I know. And I can't tell you, I'm not saying this is one time, 2 times, 3 times, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of readings that I've done over 21 years. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. And that's what started making me realize, okay, the fact that this person doesn't feel comfortable with the person apologizing who hurt them, who taught them like, oh, follow only what I say and don't listen to yourself, and I telling you how to be, and all these things that didn't let them be themselves and have a voice, they almost don't feel comfortable. I must go. I loved your talk, Adela. You're welcome. Thank you, Michelle. And so that's how I know. That's what confirmed it for me. All this time when I would get a read on people and get that vibe that I saw, it started to come up in reading after reading after reading after reading. So just know that. So if you've had somebody on the other side who you feel this has happened to you, trust me, they're aware. And they're trying to apologize. They're trying to set it straight. That's what I'm going to say about that. If you have any questions, you can, about what I said, I'm happy to answer. I got you, Sarah. So yeah, it's very hard for people to understand that. Okay, Amina. Which one of you is Amina? You just go ahead and ask any question. I am. So just go ahead and ask any question you like about something you're going through. Oh, you got it. Got it going. Okay. I have a question about a time when I was 12 years old. I believe I saw a dragon or some serpentine flying in the sky. Could you remote view that incident, see if it was what I saw? Why are you writing that into my podcast is my first question. That would make a really good episode. Okay, I'll take a look. But, also write the story in. I got you, Nikki. Right? We all want to hear that. But I do need a little more details, but I could do it on a Reader's Room episode. Okay. All right. For until then, let's take a look, okay? All right, here we go. Wait, hold on a second. This is a really good question, by the way. Okay. So you saw a dragon, serpentine creature flying in the sky. Serpentine creature. Let me see. It was pitch black. The first feeling I get, the creature was pitch black. I was going to ask you that because I was going to ask you if it was colors. Here's the interesting thing, is that the first feeling I get and the first vision I get of that is that it doesn't look like anything negative. It almost looked like a protective. So here's the interesting thing that you may find interesting, Amina, is whenever I believe in when you want to protect children, I have a little thing that I do where I call in dragons. And it's an intuitive thing connecting to that realm that had made me feel the need to do that. Something told me to call in the dragon energy. So the first feeling I got is that it's almost like fae-ish. It reminds me of being connected to the fairy realm, to that energy. It's not like I really believe there's like this fairy realm or there's like gnomes and fairies. It's an energy. It's a frequency. It's a magical frequency. It's kind of like people who are connected to the earth more. And I feel like you're more connected to the earth. That's so cool. I loved fairies as a child. See? So whenever people are connected more to the earth energy, it's more... So you got to remember that fae and dragons and all these things in another realm, because this isn't the only realm. Just like there's the land of the dead, then there's this realm. There's other dimensions. There's other realms. There's other dimensions. Is the best way I could describe. And in those other dimensions, there's different types of energies, and different energies work with the different energies of this realm. And I feel that you're very connected to the earth realm, which is very connected to the fairy realm and the dragon realm, meaning like it's all those energies. So I feel something was trying to be protective and putting a protective energy around you, because that is something I'll call on for children, like dragons in each corner protecting the child. So I felt immediately I had a good feeling. I know that could sound weird. You're like, oh, there's some serpentine. No, immediately I felt like something almost was just kind of flying around you, giving you like a protective vibe. Because were you scared? Okay, see, I was just asking me too. Really, I didn't feel... Yeah, see, I didn't feel like you were scared. Because, I will tell you if it's something else for sure. But I didn't feel that. And it felt like something was trying to remind you about the earth and your connection to it. Are you very connected to the earth? So yeah, it's very positive. So that's what I would say. I'm not sure. I loved being outside as a child. Yeah, I would kind of try to explore it. I kind of feel like this was a big part of who you are. And like we were discussing earlier about what happens to children, and maybe that part of you got shut down. But yeah, feels really positive. I feel like you're connected to those things. Maybe you need to reawaken it in you. Maybe it's time to wake that part of you up. Because that's the feeling I get from you, some kind of magical, fairy-like vibe. So what people got to understand is that, thank you so much. You're welcome. And you could still write it in. People got to understand is that realm is very, the different realms that the where the dead is, where all the magical things that people want to connect to. People are always making it so negative, like, oh, we're in this matrix and all this type of stuff. It's not. There is this realm and there are other realms, and it's a world within a world. It's just that people don't want to see these other realms because it scares them. It's easier to believe, I'm sitting here, I'm in this chair, I have this computer, and I'm looking at all of you, and you're looking at me. Well, I'm looking at you in a different way. I'm looking at your names and remote viewing for you and all that. And it's just easier. Hello, Maria. It's easier to believe what we see, what we touch in the physical way is the real thing, and anything else that's in the world within the world isn't, because it scares us, because we don't understand it, because anything we don't understand or aren't familiar. But here's the kicker, okay? When you come into this world and you're a baby, you don't know anything, right? Doesn't everyone have to introduce you to your fingers, to your toes, to your face, to all of your being, and teach you how to eat, teach you how to walk, teach you how to do everything? Don't we say to babies, welcome to the world, baby, right? This is the world, because what we're saying is welcome to this foreign land you've never been before. But there's something in us that people don't seem to be able to explain, that there's something in us, right, that kind of has a memory of somewhere else. It kind of has a feeling of something else. When you're a child, you believe you could fly, you can believe you can think things with your mind and it will appear. You believe in fairies and dragons and magical things, right? And then slowly everyone beckons you into this world more and says, knock it off. This is this world now. Why? Because they're saying, forget about what you used to know. Forget about the lands and the realms that you were familiar with before you came here. That doesn't exist anymore. Not in this world. So we close the door to those realms. But I don't believe it ever leaves us. And we are the ones who won't look at those realms. We are the ones that are afraid of it. They are not afraid of us, and they are willing to interact with us. But it always is peeking through here and there when everyone is not afraid. So this is the thing. You have access to that realm anytime you want, but the truth is that the most of the time that people spend is when they're children, because the world hasn't crushed it out of you yet. So whenever you're trying to find your magical self, go back to when you were a child and see what you were drawn to, what you felt, what you saw. and trust that more than anything anyone tells you. Okay, so Sarah is next. Sarah is next in the reading. And we'll be looking for Amira's sending into the housemedium@gmail.com her story. Hello. Oh, it's Aquamarine. Okay. Hello, I'm wondering about a guy I've been talking to. Things were going pretty good between us, but a situation happened in his life that has made him confused about us. I really like him, but I don't really know where I stand with him anymore, and I don't want to invest too much into this if he's just going to end up moving on with someone else. Okay. That's totally fair and very rational and practical. All right, let's take a look and see what's going on with him, okay? I'll see how he's feeling about you and kind of straighten out what the hell's going on with him and you. You're welcome. Okay. So immediately, Aquamarine, so everyone knows who I'm talking to, Aqua. I'll call you Aqua. He looks very distraught, actually. I feel a lot of compassion for him because he looks like he's in a lot of emotional pain. It's interesting because he does feel very drawn to you and does want to have something with you. But it's almost like the problems that he's going through, it's very emotionally difficult. It's almost like he's devastated, and I think this has to do with his family, I think. I just see him saying he's very devastated, and he doesn't have the peace of mind, you know what I mean? He doesn't have the peace of mind of like, oh, everything's cool, everything's fine, I'm just gonna like get into this new relationship and everything will be great. It doesn't look like that's what's happening. It almost looks like anytime he thinks about getting involved with you, he's not sure how he's going to keep it up. And he's not sure how he's going to like keep, a relationship at all. So it's like, when somebody, everything's kind of moving along normal and then something just crashes into your life. And then you're like, okay, I can't just like be relaxed anymore. Like this situation is taking up so much of my brain space. He thought I was going to be a father and with an ex that popped up in his life unexpectedly, but he ended up not being the father. Okay, that's what I saw him like. It's like it forever changed him. Like he's kind of going through this like, okay, that's why I said it felt like a loss. I don't know, maybe I didn't say that, but it felt like a loss. So I think that my sense is that he just needs to process through that. He said about not being a dad, but I'm over like here, like, what about me? I was going to say, he just needs to process through that because this is what I feel like. This is what I see going through his mind. What I see going through his mind is like, oh, instant fatherhood. Like he skipped all the other things. And it was almost like he was only focused on the baby, not the girl. That was it. He was only focused on like, ooh, I have a baby. Yeah, I'm a dad. And he was like not focused on the girl. So I feel like for him, he's like, oh, it's like this is what I'm going to say. He realized he wants to be a father. So he's just processing that. He's just realized like, oh, I want to be a father. It's something I want. I'm actually disappointed I'm not a father. So to do something with you does mean it's like it would take obviously more time. You guys would have to get to know each other, grow something. He does want to do it, but you just got to give him a minute to process it. I don't feel like this is a waste of your time. Yes, it was so unexpected. That's fair. I'm trying to be supportive and like the right mindset. I love that with him. I don't feel like you have to be so careful with him. I don't feel like it. You could just like, you don't he didn't, this isn't like, this is just like, he's just kind of like reset his whole being of like, you know what I mean? He's just like been like, oh, okay, I didn't realize I wanted to be a dad. Now I realize I really want to be a dad. And I didn't think I wanted to be a dad. It's really easy to talk to my love dad about him. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I feel like all you need to do is be like, let's build something ourselves and let's see where this could bring us. And he'll be like, yeah. It's not even so much about being a father as that he's kind of going through this like, whoa, I'm going through this like crazy awareness that I want to be a father. Like it's hitting him. Like, you know what? I think I want to be a father. It's like that. Like I didn't expect that. And then he's going to get over it. So I think you need to be light and fun and talk about it and say, hey, let's go have fun. Let's go on a fun little time together. You know what I mean? Just lighten it up. Okay? Don't be so careful around him. I got you, Timothy. Okay, I love that. I've just been trying to not step on his toes, but now that I hear that, it's awesome. Yeah, don't do that. He's just going through a like aha moment of like, oh my gosh, like I want to be a dad. Who knew? And then you're like, okay, cool, whatever. Let's go out and play and have a good time together. You know what I mean? You're just like, don't worry about all that. We're going to have fun. And he'll be like, okay, yeah. And honestly, I actually sense that he's a little relieved in a way. Like, hi, are readings still available? Yes, Peyton. If you go into my description, you can Venmo, Cash App, or PayPal. Okay, so this is the thing, everyone. When it comes to love, one of my things I've learned from doing readings is that communication is the worst amongst, believe it or not, the ladies. Communicating how they feel. I feel like a lot of times in heterosexual relationships, and it's a cis male, cis woman, the woman tends to believe that the man knows what's going on or knows knows exactly what he wants or what he's doing. And a lot of the times you're wrong. Most of the time, women, like I said, when it comes to, I got you, Peyton. When it comes to cis women and dealing with cis men, they'll just be like, oh, well, I'm just waiting for him to kind of tell me what he wants, when he wants it, or how he feels. And I can tell you that when I read men, they always say like, no, we need you to kind of tell us what you want and, express how you feel because we are kind of lost. And I feel like it's always presented to women the opposite. Almost like, you know what I mean? Yes, I'm working on it. It's been super rewarding whenever I do communicate with him. It's been good experience stepping out of my comfort zone with confidence and communication with him. I totally agree. Yes, it's very common in all my readings that I do. I will tell women, oh, did you text him? Did you contact him? Did you tell him how you feel? Oh, no. I feel like if he really likes me or if he really feels a certain way, he'll let me know. No. I hear from men all the time, yes, please tell the ladies to tell us, do they like us? Do they not like us? Give us some help. We need help. in communicating, I feel like we're taught, a lot of us as women, it probably goes back to not being hurt as kids. I think so, but honestly, I was going to say, I really think women are taught that we're these little flowers, kind of like in The Bachelor, the show. And we're just sitting here and the men are picking the flowers and going, you, I'll choose you. Goodbye, the rest of you. And men are not as confident as you think. They are not. They're just as scared. They're just as insecure. They're just not taught to show it. They are very scared of you guys. Oh, by the way, I forgot to light. Okay, we're going to Nikki. I forgot to light because you've all seen this, right? I've been sending these out. Hi, Nikki. Who would you like me to connect you with? Nikki's doing a meeting reading. You've seen my incense wand, right? If you haven't, I'm going to show it to you now. Lighting some incense. Let it burn. And this is the incense wand I created because there's nothing like this out there. That's why I created it. Okay, hold on. Let me burn some incense first. Adele out here spreading some good vibes despite the energy climate. I'm trying. I'm trying. Because today has been challenging. All right. Here's my incense wand. Did you guys see it? It's working. I'm trying. I'm spreading all the magical energy as much as I can. Nikki, I'd love to connect with my uncle on my father's side, but there's a lot of uncles, so do you want his name? No. I don't need his name because he already knows. Hi, Timothy. I have you on the list, Timothy. You're after Nikki. Because he knows. Just a little lesson. He knows. So the reason why I work this way, and I'm putting some, are you guys feeling the cleanse? The reason is because I've worked really hard to work with the spirit world, and they know, they've heard you, right? They know who you're looking to speak to. So just kind of imagine like they received the text before me. So when I'm calling out, they're like, she's talking about me. She's talking about me because I already got the text from Nikki a while ago. Because thought travels much quicker than real, you know what I mean? Much sooner. Anyway, you guys feel the magic. I'm very proud of these. And I'm very excited that so many of these have been going out. I've been shipping them, painting them, hand painting them, and shipping them out. All right, we're going to let it burn. Oh, and this is what I love about these incense wands. You can lay them down. And let them burn. That's what I'm going to do now. All right. Uncle on your father's side. Okay, you know how I work. I'm going to tell you how he passed. And then we'll go from there, right? After Nikki is Timothy, and after Timothy is Peyton. All right, here we go. Your uncle on your father's side. Hold on. I was right. I was gonna change it. Change it. Hold on a second. Just changing the music. It's getting kind of funky around here. I want to chill it out. All right. So the first thing I hear is that he's very excited to talk to you. Sorry, the hiccups. He's showing me his young self. So he either passed young or he's showing me that he's young now, because everyone is young once they pass. He says that his passing was a little bit unexpected. It wasn't 100% unexpected, like he did know what was coming, but he did feel like everything kind of sped up, and this is what I hear him saying: I got the short end of the stick. I felt like I was promised, or I thought I had a lot more time than he really got. That time did run out quicker than he thought. I just get this really cool feeling from him, that he was kind of like a deep thinker, a deep feeler, but very almost introverted. He's talking about his chest, so I feel like talking about his lungs, and I think I'm smoking, but he's saying his lungs would hurt. Something very much about the lung area. He says that he never really kind of thought about life after death. He just kind of lived his life, and he might have taken it for granted, his life. His advice to you is to not rush the days. He does feel almost like a loner. Now, Nikki, you know better. You should be talking back to me, letting me know if this makes sense to you or not, as I'm reading you, so I don't have to pause too much. But yeah, he also says that he's pretty surprised that there's it made me watch an ad right when you start. What? See, I don't see them, and they make me put them, else they won't push my stuff out. I hate to say it. Oh, his death, he said that it was his chest. I think he smoked. I'm not sure, because he's talking about his lungs. Yeah, I know. He had an aneurysm. He was a smoker. He was very quiet, and felt like I didn't get to know him personally, but it was very much in our lives. I didn't know he was a deep thinker. He smoked cigars all the time. Okay. Yeah, so the aneurysm is probably why he says he felt like time cut short. He said, when I asked him how did he know, he kind of knew. Oh, wait, hold on. He's also showing me something else. Real quick, he showed me a vision of what part of the world is belly dancing from? His death was shocking, and he was pretty young. Yeah, he looks pretty young. But he's saying the reason why he wasn't too surprised is because of the way he lived his life. Like, he kind of thought, he kind of drank, he smoked, he kind of lived his life. He wasn't like a clean living person. So he kind of thought his life would end, early, but not that early. I don't know why, but he was showing me some part of the country where they do belly dancing. He went all over the world in the Merchant Marines. So that is why. I was gonna say, I feel like he's in the service. Should have said it. Should have trusted it. Always trust it, but you don't always. Yeah, because he said that he really loved this area. Where is that, everyone? Is that Morocco? Do you guys know where belly dancing is originated from? He liked the Middle East, I guess. Is it the Middle East? I'm probably getting it wrong. And forgive me if I am, but I can guide you in this other realms, but in the earthly realm, I am terrible at knowing maps and directions. Yes, I believe so. So he says, yes, he was a deep thinker. He was a philosopher. He believed in living your life the way you wanted. He didn't believe in people interfering and telling you how to live your life. he liked a lot of philosophy. He liked a lot of Eastern religion, East Asia type of religion. Like, am I saying it right? I'm probably saying it wrong again because I'm not. I'm trying to hear him and I'm not good. But I feel like he's showing me like China, Japan. He liked Indian, Buddhism. He liked Hinduism. He liked stuff like this, and he was very interested. So he says it's not surprising you feel connected to talk to him because he has definitely been connecting to you because you have similar interests and you're similar to him. Yeah. Is that cool? Lastly, I feel like we're both different in our families. Yes. So he also says, lastly, he's changed a lot in the sense that he was definitely like to party with people and have a good time, but he was very much a believer in being like to himself. And he thinks that kind of cut people off a lot. And he says he kind of regrets being so close to the chest. So he says, don't hold everything so close to your chest, is his last advice tonight. Yeah, you're welcome. So the one thing that, everyone should know is that when people pass, they, that sounds like him. Yeah. They'll describe who they were. You're welcome. Thank you. You're welcome. People will describe who they were and how you knew them and how they behaved and how they acted. And then they'll get into a description of how they've changed, because when people pass, they grow, they evolve. And people always want to know what's their purpose or what are they doing. You don't have to do in the other realm and be like here. Hold on. You don't have, because here we're trying to get, we're trying to accomplish things. We're trying to, move forward in this world. Like, we're trying to create comfort here. We're trying to create, like, make sure we are medically taken care of and we have roofs over our head and food to eat and, maybe have some fun as well. And we're also trying to achieve like a career or something. In that realm, they don't have the material pressures at all, or the limitation of time and space. So they're able to grow and evolve and so be philosophical and things like this. Hey, Dayla, got room for another intuitive reading? Sure, Katie, yeah. So, people always want to share how they've changed and grown and then give a little advice. Hi, Dale. I've been listening to your podcast for a long time and finally caught your live stream. Oh, that's awesome, Christy. Did you hear the latest podcast? Go ahead, and Timothy's next. Go ahead and throw up your question. Did you listen to the latest episode? Because the latest episode I thought was pretty crazy, right? It was pretty interesting. And I really appreciated April sharing. Her name is April, her story. But if you haven't caught it, what do you guys think of me doing clips of the podcast? Should I throw them up on here? I'm trying to find a space at my new job to shine. What do you mean by that? Oh, first of all, oh my gosh. Timothy, I am going to read your update this week. I didn't read it this past week because it was too long of a email and story. But this podcast, I'm going to read your update. so everyone can hear it here first. I did a reading for Timothy. I haven't listened to it yet. Oh, you guys. See, this is what I mean. How do I entice people? Should I do clips? I'm trying to figure it out because I feel like people get tired of getting things pushed at them. And I don't know, how do you guys, I'm going to answer Timothy, but in the meantime, two things. One, here's my question to all of you. How do you all find your podcasts? What is the most common way? You have to realize those of us who create content and stuff, we're always trying to figure out what you guys like and how you guys want to get stuff to you. It's constant, trust me. Secondly, I did a reading for Timothy where I told him about a place he was going to move to and a job he was going to get. And you will all hear it here first before I read it on my podcast episode, next week's episode. And he got this job totally like I described it to him, and the place he's living. And now we are here. Lately, I've been asking people for podcast suggestions because I hate the algorithm on Spotify. Okay, so let me ask you this. If you see like a clip on someone's Instagram, that's not enticing to go listen, right? Because I don't think that works. What about YouTube? Like, should I put clips on YouTube? Like, if you saw a clip on YouTube, I don't think it works on Instagram. For sure, it doesn't. I don't think anyone cares. And it definitely doesn't work on TikTok. I like the clips on YouTube. Okay. Got it. I got it. On the actual channel or on YouTube shorts? I think clips on YouTube is a good idea. Yes, clips off podcasts on YouTube. I have listened, but I'm behind on episodes. It's okay. YouTube is slower paced, so I'm more likely to look it up. Shorts. Shorts? Okay, I got one vote for shorts because that's how it's easier for me to make a clip for a short than, okay. Thank you. Because here's the thing. If you haven't, I found a lot of podcasts from hosts being interviewed on other podcasts. Yes. This is true. I do need to get out there more. I do. That's a good idea too. I'm just not one to like go, hey, have me on your podcast. I'm not going to do that. Okay. Hold on, I'm going to answer Timothy. I'm getting my fan. Why not? What? I'm going to be like, oh, by the way. They should be honored. Oh, yeah, I'm sure. I mean, I could. Okay, so Timothy, you want to stand out like this. This is how you want to stand out. You want to stand out because I know your situation is you're working for a lady and she's kind of she wants you to do her recipes, right? So she's not really keen on you doing your own thing. So what do you mean by stand out? I guess I'll just take a look. I'm done asking you questions. I'm going to take a look. Hold on. Never mind. I wrote Katie's reading on the cover of this pad instead of the pad. I'm never going to see it. Okay, got you, Katie. My feeling is, this is what I see. You have to chill out. You have to keep doing what you're doing. Keep showing her, what, you're about. And you just got to give time, because I honestly feel like if you push it too much, like if you're like, hey, I got something to show you and I could do this and I could do that, she's going to freak out. But if you stay consistent and you just kind of add little flares here and there, like you have to keep her recipes, but if you add like a little decorative flair or a little something extra, she'll be okay with it. But I mostly feel like you need to just give it some time. Like you got to show her, you're loyal to what she's doing and you're up, and then you just drop little hints and you say something like, if you ever want me to do anything different, let me know. I'd love to work with you, but you can't do it like, oh, let me show you what I can do. But you can do it like, we can collaborate on something new. Because my sense is that the more she trusts you, the more she sees you're being true to her recipes and doing it in her way, she's going to come to you. Watch. She'll say, I really am tired and I can't just do these things. I'm also interested in something new. Why don't we work on something together? But I feel like it's too soon. You know what I mean? It's too soon. She'll freak out if you do anything right now. She's very strict with her recipes. Yeah. She's very strict with her recipes just because people have tried to use her in the past, work with her, and then kind of dump, what she has and try to take over her business. That's why she's strict. But she won't be that strict if she won't be that strict if she sees oh, okay, he's respecting what I do and he's being cool with what I do. So my feeling is that you need to just kind of keep doing what you're doing. I would say give it another 2 to 3 months. By the holidays, for sure by Easter and moving into Mother's Day and Father's Day and graduation, all those pivotal things, she's going to be more open. Oh, and lastly, importantly, just show her some things you're doing at home. Just go, oh, look at this awesome cake I made at home. You know what I mean? Just show her some of the things you're working on at home. Or show her that show you were on. Remember? Have you shown her that? Timothy was on a baking show that he is really bad at promoting that he was on. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. Sometimes you have to kind of hint to people. Not hint, but you got to kind of plant the seed. And someone like her who's kind of a little bit controlling, you got to make her feel like this was her idea. So she feels comfortable oh, you did a baking show. Oh, you're doing that stuff at home. I told her I don't think she really cared. How did you tell her? And go ahead, Peyton, because I'm wrapping up with, and this is the thing for everyone. You can drop your question. This is the thing, everyone. There's a way to, if you want to shift the energy with someone, sometimes you have to kind of pull all your energy back, but then you got to in order to shine, you also have to kind of you got to make room for yourself. Let me explain. So if you want to shine for somebody or in a place, instead of holding everything in and hoping they see you, you don't want to do that. Instead of pushing yourself, all your energy out, your petals pushing out, I'm here, that sometimes can bother people. So you don't want to do that. So sometimes what you do is you plant the seed and you come around and you're basically slowly opening up your petals for someone to see. Well, we all introduce ourselves and our attributes, and it was in my resume. And that is not the same. That is you just trying to hope she sees it because you're too embarrassed to kind of talk about it. I knew it. No, that is not the same. You have to like kind of say it in a conversation. Like, oh, it's so funny that, Easter's coming up, because I was on this Easter baking show and I had like, did things a little bit different. It was really fun. It was kind of crazy. No, really, I told the whole group. You told the whole group, I know, but you're not telling her while you're like, hey, gnome runner, you're not telling her like while you're working with her, right? Like one-on-one. I'm saying there's ways to just plant seeds. Let me explain something. This is for you and everyone to hear. When you're dealing with people like this, people who are like in charge of something and you feel kind of intimidated, they're not really thinking about it. They're like busy, they're trying to run a business, they're like overwhelmed, they're stressed, and they won't catch it the first time. It is up to you to kind of keep planting the seed. It is up to you to go, oh yeah, that's because, I like was on this baking show and Easter's starting to remind me of that because this time last year, that's what I was doing. You plant the seeds, because I'm telling you, if you think like you say something to someone and it immediately catches their attention, it will not. And that's how you slowly open your petals and start to shine. You have to make someone hear you, and you can't be afraid to do it. You can't tiptoe around them. Okay? So, everybody hear that? Sometimes we get very intimidated by people who are in a position of power, or they're the boss or something like this, and we kind of like don't want to feel like we're being too whatever. And so you have to like, you don't take it personally. People are busy, they're distracted, they're not even thinking about it. Okay. Everyone got that? Adela, can I get a meeting reading? Well, you can, but everything's kind of on donation, and that's through my PayPal, my Venmo, or Cash App. So I'm reading Katie right now, and the medium donation is $20. She's tiny, but she scares me. I can tell and if everyone doesn't know, Timothy, like, how tall are you? 6'3"? Okay, so Peyton, any entities to watch out for the place I'm moving? Katie, I'm reading Peyton first, and then I'll come back to you, Katie. 6'6". I'm reading Peyton, and then you're next. Just finished up with Timothy. Okay? Okay, so Peyton, you're bad. I know my family wouldn't like it if they found out, but I think I have a lot of fun with it. Can you see anything about how this might play out? Did I miss the first part? I must have. I did. Where's the first part? What will play out? What are you talking about? Peyton, did you miss the rest of the question? Or did I miss it? What is happening? I think I missed it. I think you didn't write the whole question. I'll type. Yeah, because I look back and it's not there. Okay, she's going to type it again. I didn't miss it, right? Because I didn't see anything. Sorry, I'm new to the live chats. Where can I find PayPal? And all of the stuff is in the description. If you go to the description, you'll see it. Hi, I want to start a YouTube channel where I talk about pop culture and politics. So I've been thinking of also making an OF, okay, as a way to make money while I give my channel time to grow. Okay. Got it. I literally had to say it in my head. This is my feeling. You want to do that while you're making. See, yeah, I realize that's why I wouldn't post a comment. That's okay. Okay, here's my feeling. My feeling is that you have a lot of fun and interesting and smart things to talk about. And my concern is that you're not going to feel comfortable, because I do feel, this is what I see, because remember, I'm a seer, that you're going to get sucked into OF, and it's going to become very easy, and it's going to become a lot of your life, and the other is probably not going to happen. I also feel like you're going to feel very uncomfortable with having both and putting yourself out there on YouTube when you have that and having people. I just don't see you comfortable. I know you're saying you're worried about your family, but I just don't see you comfortable. So my feeling is, you can. Is there a reason, like your job now, you don't want to continue with? Because you can build a YouTube channel with the work you're doing now. I feel like I would be, because I've done similar work online. Right. It's not that part. That's exactly why I see you getting pulled into it. You know what I mean? And that you not feeling as comfortable as jumping to the regular YouTube content. And, because you know how people are, they're going to call you out, because people are detectives now online. So that's what I'm saying. I feel like if you're going to, this is what I see, one or the other. I just don't see you feeling comfortable doing OF while you're doing YouTube. And I definitely see you getting pulled into the first and making it very harder for you to start the YouTube channel. I just see you getting pulled into it. I do feel like you would, and so I feel like you're comfortable if it's one or the other. Does that make sense? That's part of the reason why I feel like I should just put it out there myself, so I don't have to worry about that. But yes, that makes sense. You mean the YouTube channel? I got you, Christy. You mean the YouTube channel, right? If we're being clear. Yeah, I feel like it's just going to be hard for you to. Yeah, that's what I feel. I feel like you just have to have the patience as far as having both. Oh, I see that you're just going to say I do both. Okay. I see. Gotcha. Yeah. If you're going to do it that way, then it will work. 100%. If you are letting everyone know, hey, I have both going on, and I don't care, and I don't care what what you think. That is always the best way to go for everyone to hear. When you're dealing with the public, you always have to just say, like, yeah, I know I'm not perfect. I know, I'm not saying, it's not about what you're doing. I'm saying you don't present yourself as somebody who's like, oh, I have everything perfect and my life is this way. You just kind of share it. If you're going to put yourself that much online, that vulnerable, OF is more vulnerable. then you just go all the way in being vulnerable. You go, yeah, this is what I do, but I'm also smart and I have funny things to say, and that's what I do on YouTube and whatever. Lots of people are doing that. Doesn't mean anything. Then you're fine. Then you can do both. But as far as your family goes, you're not going to please them either way. So I would say if you're going to go down that path, then be very clear. Okay, cool. That's what I was going for. Yeah. And and last thing I'll say to you, Peyton, the best way to work that in on your YouTube channel is to talk about things like pop culture and politics and judgment, and say, hey, where's the line? We're okay with this, but we're not okay with this, and we want to judge people for this, but we let people go for this. You see how you could tie it together? In other words, like, women are held to a certain place, but also like people are okay with magazines and movies, you know what I mean? Like, we allow certain things in movies, and people are watching things like Euphoria and all kinds of controversial things, and everyone's okay with it, but why is that okay? But this isn't. So if you believe that if you talk about it on YouTube, then it's a perfect marriage. Okay? The one thing everyone always know this: if you're going to put yourself out online, always make it clear you're not perfect. This is the problem I see so many people do. And if you notice, this is how people get pulled down, is because people want to present themselves as like, oh, I know all this, or I'm doing this perfect. And this is why people get frustrated with influencers and stuff. Because when you see an influencer or something and they're showing you this perfect life and telling you how to eat perfectly, how to sleep perfectly, what perfect makeup to wear. And that's why people jump on them. They're like, oh, your makeup's bad like this, or you didn't eat like this. People get this way because they feel like, if you're telling me, you're trying to present yourself in such this, pristine way or perfect way, then people almost get like resentful. But if you're like, listen, yeah, whatever, this is who I am, and I'm no perfect person, I'm doing my thing, deal with it, people will leave you alone. When women make money directly themselves, then they say it's not okay. When corporations can profit off them, then it's suddenly fine. It's true. It's true. That is a good point. I got to relight my incense. My incense wand. That is a good point, Nikki. Well said. Okay. Katie's next? What's your question, Katie? But it's true. Believe it or not, way back in the day, when I was younger, I was in the modeling industry. That's another long story of how I ended up there. And I was shocked at how young then, this was in the early 90s, most of the girls were like 15. And I was like, do people not realize? I used to tell people this all the time. They're dressing these girls up to look like grown women. And everyone is just seeming okay with it. But then they want to criticize a young girl, you know what I mean, if she's dressed in a certain way. Yeah. And the modeling world is just insanity. Okay, I'm gonna get to you, Katie. Hold on, I'm looking at you. Okay, cool. Are there entities to watch out for the place I'm moving to? Well, I'm just gonna tell you right now, there's never, you mean by entities, you mean spirits? There's never like entities in places. It's just it's not a common thing. You don't have to look out. Just so you know, I can tell you that right off the bat. You don't have to look out for entities. It doesn't work that way. You just cleanse the space. I'm not going to really look, and I'm telling you right now, I know I'm not going to look and see. I mean, connected to the house. Yeah. So just so you know, when spirits are talking and they're connected to the house or the land, they're not stuck there. You realize they're just like telling you the story that has to. It's like you move into a place and the spirit's like, I want you to know the story. You know what I mean? So I want everyone to be clear that the spirit world is not that obsessed with us at all. They have so much more life going on. But they see you in their space and sometimes they, kind of want you to know their story. So I feel like my sense is you're going in very like on guard, and I don't feel like you need to. I don't see anything. I don't see anything negative going on. I don't see anything you have to look out for. My sense is you might want to go in this very open and cleanse the space and, be respectful to those who were there before, but I don't really see that being a thing. You want to go into this with a positive tip. And usually when spirits are trying to connect with you and tell you their story, it's just really that, they're just trying to tell you their story. So I feel like your energy feels a little bit like you're on, like your dukes are up and you don't need to be. Go into it with a very light and positive energy and respectful to the land. Yeah, I think sometimes you think you're attracting negative energy, but a lot of times what we think is negative is just something we're not. Like I said, they're not that obsessed with us. I know, sorry to disappoint everybody, but we are not the center of the universe. We are not the center of the spirit world. I think sometimes you might tune into things, and that's what happens. But a lot of times what we think is negative, is just energies we don't understand. If you notice on my podcast, a lot of times people come on and they think it's all terrible, but it's really just spirits that want their story to be told. So my feeling is go into this very light and kind of have good energy, cleanse it, and come from a very awesome, space and just let it be. I don't see anything wrong happening. The problem is that we always are excited about, well, society tends to want to, you know what I mean? The society, we always want, we kind of, all of us, we're all like this. We like the sensationalism of things. It's a little enticing. And the ones that are just like, hey, I just want to talk and see what's up and what's going on, we kind of poo-poo that. But yeah, I don't feel anything you need to worry about, and I don't feel like you need to go in there with your dukes up. Kind of more of a lighter tip. That's what it feels like. And congratulations on the move. So yeah, always cleanse any space you go into, everyone. Always, because just like you wash the walls or you clean the carpet. I'm glad you're excited. Clean the bathrooms. You want to clean the energy, and you gotta put your own stank on it. All right, so Christy is my last reading tonight. It's a medium reading. Who would you like to speak to? Always cleanse your space, everyone. Anytime you move into someone's space, cleanse it. Always. Because you just want to put your own stink on it, I thought I pressed that. Did I press that? It's getting crazy, this music. It's getting wild. Okay, so Christy, you just tell me who you want to speak to by your relationship to the person. So you just say like my grandmother and my mother's side or something like that. And I want you guys, everyone, to know how valuable your input on me putting stuff on my YouTube has been. Thank you all, because I've been like debating how do I get my podcast up? And you're right, being a guest on other podcasts is another way. And you just do that too. Look, I have several drinks. This is my coffee with Dwight. Hello, Dwight. And then my water. Is Christy there? Is she there? Are you there? Is anybody there? Anybody here? Did Christy leave? Do you think? Oh, we're here. Okay. Thank you. I'm waiting for Christy to let me know who she would like to connect with. Oh, and by the way, I posted a new class. I should have said at the beginning. No one's going to see this at the end. Making spaghetti. Okay. I posted a class on, it's going to be a 4-part series, and it's exploring all the clairs: clairvoyant, clairsentient, clairaudient. I totally forgot to talk about this at the beginning. So you all are probably the only ones going to see this, because no one watches this far. Yeah, so we're going to go over all the clairs and what they are, and how to not only connect them, but how to open them. Okay, Christy, your grandfather on what side of the family? But to kind of see which one resonates with you, and then we're going to practice. Hi, Tori. Hi. That's going to be a new 4-week course that I just posted. And I'm going to post a spirit circle, but I'm going to Utah at the end of this month. So I can't, it's only for the weekend, but okay. On your mom's side. Okay. We were talking about signing up yesterday for Spirit Circle, Zachary. Okay, so Christy, since you're new, I'm going to the class. Oh, cool. Yeah, that'd be awesome. Well, especially because you guys are going to be doing the reading thing. Totally forgot to talk about it. I am a bad promoter. I try to be a better promoter. Okay, so Christy, I'm going to tell you how your grandfather passed. He's going to tell me how he passed. You can talk back to me like yes, no, or whatever that makes sense, but try not to add information so I can get it purely from your grandfather, and then he'll tell me some other things to confirm. Yes, sorry, my messages are not going through. That's okay. No, I see it. Your grandfather on your father's side. On your mom's side. I'm gonna start right now. Okay. Well, first of all, your grandfather's giving me some advice on life. He's saying that he knew he was going to pass. He was aware of it. Just making sure. He knew he was going to pass. He's aware of it. He's just kind of was giving like really good advice about. I like to connect with. Yes, I got it. I'm doing the reading now, but you probably already know that, and your stuff's coming in late. I'm doing the reading now. He said he knew he was going to pass. He was aware of his passing. He said that, there's kind of like a quiet reverence to it. He says, he felt like it took a while longer than he would like. He kind of felt like, he hates to say it this way, but he just really, really was ready to go, and he wanted to let go. He enjoyed what this life brought him, but he felt like, I don't know, he didn't feel good. Like all of a sudden, I feel like when I'm him, like my stomach aches, like my whole body aches. And he said, when you don't have any energy and you don't feel good anymore, and he kind of got depressed a little bit, then he was ready to go. He wants everyone to understand that, you give it your all, you do everything you can for your family, and then you need to go. He says, I can't help you with all the problems you guys are having as a family. I can't. I can try to send a good energy and try to make you feel like you're not alone, but I can't fix everything. I'm not capable of that. He says, I feel like I'm enjoying learning a lot about my life. He really didn't have a chance. It's like, I feel like when I'm him and he's talking about his life, he had to work really hard. He always felt like he was working hard. He never felt like he really got a break. And so he feels like he accomplished all the things he wanted to. And he's pretty satisfied with his life. Like, he's pretty satisfied with what he brought to his life. He says that people in the family need to come together more, and he can't make that happen. His advice to you is to, and by the way, his passing does feel like, he says that he deteriorated and his mind started to deteriorate and his body started to deteriorate, and then he let go. But it was happening for some time. So you can talk back to me and let me know if this makes sense or anything. But his advice to you is to not get caught up in what everyone thinks. He says, let go of all that. Let go of all that. Don't worry about what everybody's thinking about you or what they're feeling about you. And live your life freely. I don't know if that makes sense. But he says, don't ponder so much on what their approval of you is. And he says that's the best advice he can give you, because he says that you're allowing the family. Are you crying or something? Because he showed me an image, or I feel like I saw an image. He says you're allowing the family to get to you. That's just the first feeling I got from him. That's the first thing he keeps talking about, and he keeps repeating it. So it must be important for you to hear. He says he knows he lived his life sacrificing a lot for everyone. But if he does feel he should have did more for his own happiness. And that's his advice to you. Because people will just keep taking. And he also says to remember him in the spring, April, May, something about April, May, end of April going into May. So I know our chat is slow, but I hope this makes sense. I hope she'll be able to let me know. I love it when the spirit world, they always kind of say to me this. This has been a big message this year, to be more present in the moment. And I took a deep breath because I know that's very hard for me, and to not rush everything. But I just had a very strong feeling from him especially, to tell her that. But for all of us to kind of take note. And that was kind of what he was saying to me right before he started talking to Christy was like, you'll be fine. Everything will be fine. You need to enjoy things more. And he was just talking about that. And then he started saying stuff to her. Anyway, I hope this made sense to her. I know her chat's a little slow. Thank you all for joining me. I'll be back this weekend, I believe, probably Saturday. And here's the end of my incense is burning right now. And let me cleanse all of you. Thank you all. I hope you guys have a good evening. I'm going to go make dinner now. Remember to talk to your people. Remember to talk to your people. Yes, he always seemed very accurate. He was very hardworking, died from cancer. Yeah. Yes, this all seems right. Yes. I can see that. Have a super good night. But I feel like this could be helpful to you, Christy. You too. And did you catch up on the latest The House Medium? Because this is an alien episode, and this is pretty intense one. Like major third kind, third encounter, meaning like some shit went down. Okay. I think you guys will enjoy it. Maybe you don't want to listen to it at night. Might freak you out, but it's a good one. Thank you all for coming on, and you can send in your questions to thehousemedium@gmail.com. I posted the class on AdelaLavine.com. I'll post all those things on there. I'll be posting clips from this latest podcast. Thank you, Katie, and congratulations to you on your new space. Make this a good energy. Remember, people's energy who are alive can also affect a space. Why do you think I wanted to have a cleansing wand? Because the living can be tricky too. If you can you let him know that keep his picture up for my kids to see so they don't forget him? I don't need to let him know. You have direct access. He already knows. He knew before you wrote it. He knew before you said it. So everybody, yes, right, Katie? Yes, people are a little more freaky to me than the dead. I'm only here as a medium to convey them to you. They can hear you fine without me on any given day. They can hear and see you fine. They don't need me to hear you. So he already knows all that. He knew all that. Kind of imagine like you're wondering how someone knows all of your life, but you've been posting it on social media. This is what people don't understand. People are like, well, how do they know? And I go, well, it's kind of like, oops, this incense thing just... This is my first time watching Still Here. Hi, Maria. Oh, did you like it? It's kind of like, the way it works is if you're posting stuff online and you're like, how did you know all these things about me? And it's like, you've posted everything times a million. It's like that times a million. And you're like, how did you know these things? And they're like, well, you post all your shit online, so I knew my incense stick is done. And so they already know. I think people don't understand that. Like, a medium's job isn't to convey anything to the dead. Don't let anyone ever tell you that. It's ridiculous. It's like someone being on speaker, right? And I'm sitting here and the person who's dead's here and you're there and you're on speaker and you're telling me to tell them, and they're looking at me like I can hear them and say, fine, thanks, I don't need your help for that. But they don't hear me, so I need your help for that. Okay? Why? Because we're afraid of it. So you have full access to that realm. He knows, he can hear you and see you all the time. Thank you so much. Have a good night. Follow yourself. Follow no one. Thank you, Maria, for joining. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you all so much. I'll be back. This did kind of burn my computer, though. Did it? No, it didn't. Call yourself, follow no one, listen to your inner voice. And I'll see you all soon. You have a wonderful night too. Thank you. See you soon.